Well, this morning when I went to PetSmart to pick up some bird food for my wind-up birds, I was sitting next to this vehicle, and it is a Silverado hybrid. Chevy makes it. Now we know what a Chevy is because a Chevy comes from the word chevron, and that's a female goat, and it's often used to represent Saturn and the woman, the bitch, whatever you want to call her. But what's more important is when we look at this logo, it's interesting. You got two green pillars. The green represents the recycling that they have in store for us. That's the Go Green movement. The X representing the female chromosome, which is the bitch, the woman, and the planet Saturn, which also represents this entity of chaos. And it creates two pillars. The two pillars are from the Phoenicians, and that's what sets up the church, the government, and all your maritime laws, so to speak. When I was in the Navy, when you go to enter onto a ship, you have to go between two posts because this is the law of the sea. And then you have to salute and you're welcomed aboard after you ask permission, of course. When you go to church, you must walk between the two pillars, which is that little gate that you go for communion or whatever it is that they do in church. And when you go into a courtroom, you must walk through the little gate. This is maritime law. It has to do with the Phoenicians. The Phoenicians are the ones that set everything up on this planet. Okay, these are the boys that run the show. They're the ones that hooked up with Cain from the Old Testament. As far as I can tell, the Phoenicians are probably what you would call the fallen angels. You can call them aliens. I mean, wouldn't an alien be an angel? And wouldn't an angel be an alien? I mean, they're not from around here, so let's not split hairs. That argument about angels and aliens, it's the same thing. Okay, one likes to put a spiritual aspect to it, the other one likes to just put a body to it, but it's, they're really the same thing. But when we see that, I mean, that tells a lot. One other thing, when you look at this, look in the middle of the X, right in the middle of the X, you'll see that it creates an arrow pointing down, and on the bottom of the X, it creates an arrow going up. And that goes back to the old saying, as above, so below. So, they're telling you a lot just within that. But the hybrid is the new man. As it was in the days of Noah, so will it be in the coming of man, coming as a reference to a sexual act of a new creation. So, just this little word speaks volumes. Okay, well, this was on Fox News today, again with the androgynous shit. Supposedly, these guys were in a St. Patrick's Day parade, and there was a fire. They're firemen. And so they had to rush to the scene, and they jumped off, and they grabbed the hose, no safety equipment, of course, and put out the fire. But they had to make sure that, that this was on the news. Again, this is just another fucking coded message. It's all about androgyny. It's all about the Elohim. It's about their return. This happened in Minnesota. I've got the actual video that I'll put up. I got news for you. I have friends that are firemen. It's a car fire on the side of the road. Okay? When those guys are on their way to a call, if they're not fully dressed, they dress on the way. If that truck was to explode and throw fuel, they would be burned alive. Okay? So they would, even if they were at a thing, they would have stripped that shit off and put on their pants and their jacket and their helmet. Okay? It only takes 2 seconds. I mean, people gonna have to understand what's going on here. These are coded messages. Absolutely 100%. You look at the color scheme. What's the color scheme? The color scheme is red and green. The red phase is what we're getting ready to go into, and then after that you go green. Okay? It's interesting the way he's holding the fire hose to where it creates an X. You wouldn't hold it like that because you're liable to kink the hose and stop the flow of water. Basically, in the most simplistic form, the story is absolute bullshit. Okay? No fireman is going to fight a fire in a dress, or even if he was in blue jeans. Let's just say he was in blue jeans and a t-shirt. He would have put his protective gear on. These guys are trained for this. It's second nature to them to do that. Okay? It's a car fire in the middle of nowhere. You know, what's the big hurry? You guys, you know, I know you're not stupid, and I know that you get it, and I'm not trying to come down on you and say that you're dumb. But when they put this shit on Fox News, you know, and everybody giggles and stuff, be sure that they understand what all of this stuff means. The other thing that was on Fox News today was that the song that they featured, and they do this every day, is called, I think it's called Oh Delilah or some shit. Now, who was Delilah? Delilah was Samson's, his old lady, the one that he took, that betrayed him. It's a story, but it represents betrayal. Samson was a Nazarene. Okay, so I'm assuming that somebody is about to be betrayed, whether it's the country of Israel or somebody that's involved. But something's going down. Like I said before, all the news is just a way to pass coded information, stories within stories. To the average person, this looks like, oh, how funny, these two guys are firemen and they're fighting a fire in dresses. In reality, not true. So the sooner this comes into fruition into people's heads that we're getting played on such a huge level, you know, the little bit safer will be, at least spiritually. As far as the flesh goes in this country, it's over. You know, I know it sucks, but you know, there's really nothing that can be done about it. So anyway, here's the clip. I tell you to enjoy, but it should make you sick.
That is awesome.
All right, quickly, I'm not going to make a big deal out of this, but again, on the same day that the firemen are fighting fires in women's dresses, the police are running around in high heels. Okay? Supposedly it's to support women, walk a mile in her shoes. You know, to support the woman. You notice they didn't use the word female, they used the word woman. This everyday word woman is not an accurate word. I've been through it with you guys, and you guys understand what I'm talking about. This is getting, I mean, basically, I think this is code for saying, you know, these different areas are all on board. Whatever it is they have cooked up is right on schedule. I mean, first of all, I don't give a fuck if you're in support of something or not. The bottom line is, you're a police officer. You're supposed to be in the correct uniform. It's called the uniform of the day, and the uniform of the day is not a Colt 45, you know, dress slacks and a nice pair of high heels. What are you supposed to wear? A pair of bangles with those? You know, what are you supposed? You know, who's giving you your outfits? J-Lo? I mean, this is complete and utter insanity. It's insanity. Excuse me. It's insanity. But what it represents is it represents the woman, which represents Saturn, which represents the Elohim, which represents the androgyny again. Fucking hell. This is just, well, just look at the clip. There's no excuse for this. I don't give a shit how much you support somebody. You want to support somebody, open your wall and give them 50 bucks. Okay? This is all about androgyny, folks. I mean, you ain't gonna get no more manly than a fucking state trooper, you know, wearing a nice hat, you know, sporting authority, and here he comes, you know, in a pair of high heels. Okay? It's kind of like if you're trying to scare people and you were known as Julio, you know, Julio the Axe Murderer. Well, that would scare people, but it's not so scary when it's Julio the AxeMurderer.com. It kind of takes away from it. Again, let me stress the point. This is all about androgyny. It's about the ones that wish that they were the creator, but they're not. So they have to align themselves with the lesser of the two sexes of this planet. It's just all code, folks. Take a look.